You don't know about Sydney?
I don't know about Sydney and Shasta.
And have you gotten our other District 2 person yet?
No, we still have a opening on this committee for District 2 youth.
I've tried I don't know how many times to fill it. Liliana made personal phone calls, and I told her, please talk to Donna, and
well,
we make one filled. I don't know. I'm frustrated.
Yeah. The one young lady, I can't think of her name now, that ran for an office that didn't get it, Liliana's group over there.
Not available.
Oh, it's not available.
Lorena is not able to do it. She's got other, or her mom wouldn't sign off.
Oh, well,
and I know Timbery had said that she was interested.
Yep, and she's the other one.
Okay.
But
I just don't know if it's just a matter of paperwork with her, and because we resent the application to her.
At this point, that's what I'm struggling. I've had 2-3 yeses at this point, but nobody is turning in paperwork. So I don't know what else to do. I mean, I've bugged people 3 or 4 times, and it's like pulling teeth apparently.
Well, I think if we're actually in existence for a year and people, find out, especially youth, that this really is the planning committee for this conference and it does have a lot of stuff to do and it's a good experience, we'll probably get more interest. I think I still don't think they quite get it, that it's being organized from a different group than just officers. So it's new. I'm not going to stress over it. It'll be fine. But yeah, let's go ahead and start. I did push the record button, so we convert it.
Record?
Yeah, we can record now. We couldn't before, and now we can. Shannon, what's the difference? Why can we now?
So at first it was under our own account, like under our own umbrella account, and then anything that we set up when we were doing our account. Under our account was set up under our account. Well, then when we transferred everything over to the University of Idaho account, everything that we set up before kind of got voided out. So now anytime that we set up anything underneath the University of Idaho account, we can record again. So since you've set these meetings after that transition, we can record. It was just that we lost that little bit. There was that little window in there where we lost.
So that's what we did the last, and I don't remember what group that was. I think it was the ambassador group. We recorded it and then converted it and then put the link out with the minutes. So if people really want to do follow-up and can't be here, that's a good opportunity to do it. But anyway, let's go ahead and move ahead here. People got stuff to do, I'm sure.
Babies to raise and whatnot.
So there is. Can you see that agenda then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll just work through it really quickly. We do have a couple of new people on here tonight, so.
I already gave my district report.
What's that?
I already gave my district report.
Oh, okay. So we've got Nikki with her sweet new little baby on there, so that's a new member of our committee. And then, Mary, is this the first time you've joined us on a Zoom? I think maybe it is.
Embarrassingly, yes, because I forgot the last meeting.
Don't worry about it. It happens. So Mary is a 4-H volunteer in Idaho County that has been to Teen Conference a lot in a few years past and is willing to come back in and help us. I'm excited about that. Everybody else, I think, knows everybody else. We've got Tucker on here as a youth, and then Brian and Gail and Shannon and Suzanne and myself. So I think that's about everybody, right? Okay. The minutes went out. I'm not going to spend any time reviewing them. I'm going to try to record this and then get the minutes out every time because I realize it's really hard for people to just lay down from what they're doing and jump on Zoom calls all the time. I'm really excited to get this committee together, so I think that'll be really important. What I wanted to do for district reports is kind of like Brian just did. We're missing a spot down there, and he reported that he's been trying to fill it and haven't been able to. If anybody else has anything else to report, I'll tell you, I looked at ambassadors registrations today, and there's only 4 so far. So if you can promote ambassadors and promote KYG, because those applications are due on the 14th. So even though we're the teen conference committee, we kind of need to support each other. So if you can talk to folks about that, that would be awesome.
I know Idaho County has a meeting tomorrow where we'll select our ambassadors.
So not everybody gets to go. You just send X amount.
Yeah,
Oh. Okay.
I remember that last year.
Okay.
And Donna, do my kids, my kids, do the state officers have to turn in, we have to register?
Yes.
Yeah, we need to have everybody register so we know.
Do I need to have them do that individually, or should I do that for them?
Probably individually.
Okay.
Don't you think, Shanna?
I'll get
Yeah,
that.
because they're gonna have to get their enrollment for 4-H done.
Yes, they have been, I ordered them to do so, but I told them to do it on Monday the 3rd and it wasn't open. So
Right.
we'll
So
double check with them and see if we can get that done right away.
yeah, and as soon as they get that enrollment done, then they can access the ambassadors. It's just a really quick registration to get in there, and it's even specific to the steering committee youth and the teen officers. They're all one group.
Yeah. So yeah, I didn't mean to spend a lot of time talking about ambassadors. Like I say, they're all sister organizations, ambassadors, KYG, and teen conference. So we need to support each other on those. So if you can. Suzanne, do you want to share anything about what we've got going for teen activities at the forum this year?
I'm pretty sure you know more about it than I do at this point in time, Donna. I have not been to the last 2 or 3 meetings. I'm hoping you can help me out with that.
Yeah, the committee has invited all the teens in the district to participate, and any other kids that are registered at a forum. On Friday night, they're doing the indoor ropes class. It's a leadership kind of a thing with the CSI people. And then on Saturday night, they're doing the knocker balls, which I think I'll just have to go watch that. That sounds interesting. Big inflatable balls with kids on the inside. And they're making sushi.
Was that in the evening or was that in the morning?
No, it's at night. They're both nights.
Oh, I didn't think so, because I'll have to double check my emails from Kathy Kimball, because my daughter's coming in to teach them how to make sushi, and I could have swore it was during the day.
I hope not, because the facility is reserved for like 9 o'clock that night.
I'll check Kathy Kimball's email while we're talking.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a way that we're going to try to promote both teen conference and ambassadors and KYG and everything else at that event too. So Tucker, what's going on over in your neck of the woods, or Nikki?
Nothing much over here. I might talk to Jenna and see if we can go to different counties and promote events, though.
Yeah, that'd be good if we could. I'm hoping, we had talked on our first call that pretty much all of us were hoping that they can get to ambassadors. So is everybody on the call going to be able to come to ambassadors for our face-to-face meeting?
Yes.
I'm
I
planning
plan
to,
to.
but Shanna, how does staff register for that?
Same way, just go through 4-H online, and there's a spot for
Okay.
that, I believe. I'll double check, but
Well, I was just going to email you privately, but I can look while we're talking too.
Okay.
And we'll blast it tomorrow, the ambassador thing. A lot of this is, I don't remember seeing the email. That doesn't mean it didn't come, but I came back just like Suzanne to 400 emails. So doing my best.
Yeah.
So I think maybe the reason why we don't have a lot of kids signed up is because I don't think we've done a great job at the county level getting things out yet. It's just too much to handle right now. We're doing the best we can, but we'll get it.
Well, ambassadors always a little tough because it's right when the kids aren't registered yet, but we can, but the deadline's coming right up, and so you've got kids having to get signed up, enrolled in 4-H online, and clubs having to get leaders done so they can get them approved, and it's just kind of it's a timing nightmare, but it's about all we've got. So
Right.
I'm really hoping everybody that's on the teen conference steering committee can come to ambassadors, because it's we really need to have a face-to-face meeting and get a lot of serious work done. While we're there, I just want to look at this agenda. Can you guys see the draft agenda for ambassadors here?
Yeah.
That's what's up now. Okay. You will see that these kind of teal colored blue highlighted ones are when we're actually going to have time for steering committees to work together. So the way this is laid out is there's a general session, everybody will be together there, everybody will be together here, and then these blue ones, I don't know if you can see my cursor or not, but these blue ones are when we're meeting just face-to-face, our steering committees. This one from 9:30 to 11:45, I'm hoping to have the team conference steering committee, the ambassador steering committee, and the state officers all together in a group to do a team working activity first and then break into our groups. The state officers will also need to meet with us for a little while because we were overlapping what happens at team conference. They're still in charge of elections. They're still in charge of the general meetings and those kinds of things. So we'll have to work very closely with them on that. So
That's good to know.
isn't that what we talked about though, Brian?
Sure.
I mean, we haven't got it written down yet, but
Two
that's,
thumbs up.
yeah.
We are riding this, building this bicycle as we ride it.
Oh man, one part at a time, aren't we though? And then in the afternoon, there's this other block of time. And I would think that each committee would probably be on their own then, but we'll just see when start building these agendas, what they're going to look like.
Can I move this just a little so I can see it a little bit? There we go.
So, and while we're doing that, these little green highlighted ones, those are where the other youth and adults who aren't on steering committees or officers will be doing workshops. And then we're all together over here for this general session. Instead of doing speeches, we're doing speed interviews. The committee is working on that. And then there's another general session there. So I think it's going to be, I'm excited about it, that it's laid out where we're going to have some great workshops and we'll all be together, team working together, and all the groups together for the general session, so it's not us and them, and you just have to be careful with that. But I think it's going to be really good. I can give you an idea. I'm thinking right now this first general session is going to be the presentation from the officers. Brian, the same one probably that you're doing at Ambassadors, I assume.
At the forum, sure.
Yeah. This general session, I believe, is going to be on working with different personalities and some kind of, we'll do something different than we have with Joel in the past. These workshops are 1 hour workshops. This workshop 1, the public speaking one. And the other full hour is a user manual, if you will, for ambassadors and county offices on how to work together. Different from what we've done as action plans, but that sort of thing. The ones in the afternoon, there's another public speaking one, so you actually have an hour and a half of public speaking. There's one on social media, and actually I picked up some new information. I don't know if you saw it or not, Brian. National 4-H Council in partnership with, it wasn't AT&T, somebody else back there, had some really interesting things on using social media, safety and that sort of thing. Been requested on one on parliamentary procedure, and then one of the half-hour ones on event planning that would cover everything from risk management to contracts and those kinds of things that they might get involved in as helping with activities. The general session 3 is going to be a healthy living one, but mostly focusing on sleep and the importance of sleep. Maureen Toomey's going to do that. And then this afternoon one's going to be on the new leadership portfolio. I think all the speakers except for about 2, maybe 3 are confirmed. So I hope that looks interesting enough that our committee people will want to come to participate in the ambassador workshops as well as the other information that's there.
Two thoughts. The first is that I've already had a couple of some feedback already that, boy, it's really worth going up from Boise to see the kids give their speeches. So you may want to put something out there, and I've already said, I don't think we're doing that this year. So that's kind of what the word ambassadors evokes in a lot of people, is those speeches. And so maybe just a kind of a something that says, we're changing the way we do it, and it's all good.
Yeah.
And then the other piece was what I had a thought about. When you talk about the new leadership portfolio, I would very much appreciate it from a county perspective if that information was shared in writing, not only with the ambassadors, but also with the county offices, because what is currently on the project information log is quite confusing. So
Yeah, I know. I had a long discussion about that yesterday after our curriculum meeting, because I thought that other stuff was down and ours was up, and that's really not the case. I wrote an article or a column thingy for the Focus, which I assume is coming out
okay,
this week.
good. Thank you.
It has the details on that. Yeah, it is confusing. And yes, absolutely, it'll be shared.
Great.
Yeah.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, the speech thing, we transitioned last year. Those of you that were there last year, we transitioned to doing elevator speeches. It had kind of turned into a competition on who could give the biggest tearjerker, and personally, I thought there was way too much focus on that and not enough focus on learning and other things, and so we tried to move things around a little bit. We've had good discussion with the ambassador committee. They're the ones that came up with these workshops, and they're the ones that came up with the speed interviews. So I think some of the kids are thinking that way. The girl from North Idaho, whose name I can't remember, she's great on that committee. She's the one that suggested that speed interview and why. And
Shasta. Yeah.
yeah, but you're absolutely right. It's a tradition, and we are building this bicycle one little piece at a time. So yeah. It's based on a lot of the information that came out of the task force on what kinds of things we should be offering, decision making and public speaking and those kinds of things. So anyway, any other questions on that? As soon as we get those last couple of speakers confirmed, we'll get this out for sure, cleaned up with everything on it, and then it'll be out. But we're close. I'm like everybody else who was out last week for that meeting. I'm way behind. Okay, so questions about that? Or the other thing that I had on this agenda was this partnership with teen officers, and we need to spend some time talking about that very openly and constructively on who does what as we go through this first year, that it's not entirely teen officers doing the planning, but now our 5 teen officers really stepping up to more of a professional role, if you will. And then the district reps and the rest of our committee planning the rest of it. So that'll be a good discussion. Everybody needs to bring their best ideas on how to make that work. And my idea when we plan through this agenda is to just work through the whole teen conference schedule. And just kind of walk through it and who does what and who does where, and try to get that pretty much hammered out that weekend. Gail and Brian, you guys have been on that committee, and Shannon's done a lot of work on that committee, so you kind of need to help us along, but that's my thoughts.
Yes, we need to get a theme together soon.
Yeah.
And I'm a little concerned that there is only one teen on this piece. So
yeah, I've talked to pretty much everybody as far as the teens. That I haven't talked to Jenna, but the others have pretty much indicated yes, they were planning on coming as ambassador. So I will follow up after this call, because we have really we've got to have a face-to-face team.
We need to have the theme, and we need to figure out how we want to do proposals for presentations, because we need to get those out the end of the year, the beginning of the year, so that we have them for our spring meeting so the kids can choose their topic areas.
And the other thing is that I know in the past, traditionally, we've sent some representatives to campus. We haven't always done it. We've done it once or twice to kind of lobby people to do workshops for us. I'm just throwing that out there because the teen officers are really interested in going to Ag Days, even though it's in the middle of this, it's in the 3rd of December. I already told them I'm committed. I'm not able to be there, but if they are there and Shanna or Gail is up there and you want to walk them around campus, that might be a good time if that's an appropriate role for the officers. I don't want to, you know.
Well, that kind of rolls into the very next thing on the agenda, which is the establishment of some working subcommittees. And not being on this committee before, what I wrote down for subcommittees was facilities, workshops, promotion and marketing, working with college staff, the activities, if you will, and I wrote down thank yous, just kind of a follow-up kind of a thing. So my ideas behind that, I wanted to stick an adult and at least one youth. So it's an adult youth chair on each one of those committees. And we could start thinking about what we needed there. I put my name and Shanna's name down for facilities, just because it kind of goes with what we're doing anyway.
In the past, Donna, on that one in the past, it hasn't worked to have a youth involved. Not saying we can't try it. It just didn't work because we have to make contracts. We have to make things happen fast. And Shanna has to be able to make a 30-second decision on yes or no on something. So
Understood.
the youth got frustrated with it. So if we choose to do that again, we need to make sure that we're creating it in a way that they aren't getting frustrated by it.
Yeah, good point. And that's, hopefully we'll be able to do that face to face, but that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to do that. Workshops, Gail, I had your name down on that just because you've got the experience from last year and you're close by. College staff, I had Brad down on there just because he has been a college staff. Brian, I had you down under activities because you'll be working with those officers. It'll be very critical that we know who does what, who's planning games and who's planning meetings and who's doing something else.
Yeah, and that'll dovetail well with the officers.
And Mary and Nikki, I had you guys down under promotion and marketing, just because one's at one end of the state and one's at the other end of the state. As we come up with some marketing pieces and some ideas how to promote, I'm hoping you're interested in that role. Suzanne, I had you kind of as a cleanup hitter, making sure that we do things right as far as thanking people and that sort of thing.
So I want to
speaker gifts and all that kind of stuff that goes along.
I want to take a half a step back.
Yes.
Now, kind of, we were taking the college staff in a certain direction, and it was working well. And what we were doing is we were having a faculty person that was essentially advising them, and then there was a coach, a team leader, a coach, if you will. And there's a set age on that, and Shanna has all the job descriptions and everything that we came up with on that. And I think it was really slick, and I think a lot of what we did was really positive. But we did purposely put a term limit on the facilitation coach, and I just wanted to point out that Brad has done that for 2 years.
Oh, I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why I'm telling you this. I think it may be wise to keep a faculty member kind of plugged into that process, just for no other reason than just to make sure that decorum is maintained. And I only say that because, and you know, there was a tradition among the college staff that they would, on one of the nights of teen conference, they would go off after everyone was in bed and have coffee at 11 o'clock at night and come back at about 2 a.m. And we really had no idea where they were. I mean, they said they were having coffee, and I believe them, but you know, it only takes one suggestion. Hey, let's go get a beer, and you know, then we're kind of going in a wrong direction. So we put a stop to that kind of thing, and just sort of tried to help them realize their role a little more seriously, and I think it was very effective. I just want to make sure that that stays in place. I don't want to, you know, I'm not saying that I don't trust anyone, but I think having some oversight is helpful. That's it.
I think Mary would do a really good job with this, with the oversight of the college students. Mary's been to teen conference with us before. She knows how we work things. She's been a past staff. So, you know, I think she understands where we're going with that. And I think Brad would make a great promotion and marketing because he's connected with all the kids. They all of our teens are, especially in that area, know who he is and what he does. And, you know, I think, and Suzanne would also make a really good faculty representative to the college staff too. Not to speak for you girls that are on the call, but that would be my opinion.
Well, and again, you know, I was just plugging holes to get started. So if that's the case, then Mary, what do you feel about working on college staff with Suzanne and Mary?
Do I have to stay up really late with them?
No, the sooner you get to bed, the sooner you can go to bed.
Okay. No, I don't have a problem with that.
I told him I go to bed at 11. Good night.
Yeah. I think it's just that point. I think it's just that point person that person can help, that helps them kind of stay on task. You kind of become that, because that whoever that facilitator coach is, you're their contact to the team basically. If there's an issue or something comes up,
Or we need college staff somewhere, we know to go to Suzanne or you, and then you direct them where they need to go so that they are not getting pulled in 50 different directions by all the adults planning team.
Yeah, that.
Which
and,
I don't have a problem with that. I personally know it's been a couple years since I've been up there, but one of the things I felt like they were lacking, the college staff, was sitting down like the first night and giving directions, and it was like they just didn't know what they were supposed to be saying at those meetings.
right.
Yeah, and we have remedied that, I think.
So I mean, there's chances and opportunity. We have them do orientation early as well, so that you would facilitate those orientations with, or whoever's in charge would facilitate those orientations with those college staff pre-conference to kind of help get them prepped and ready and know what their responsibilities are going to be during the week and where they need to be.
Is it hard to get college staff? Because there are a couple that don't need to come back this year, as far as my opinion.
It's hard to get.
It's hard to get college staff.
And they ultimately we had, I don't know, 10 signed up last year, and we ended up with 7. So they plans change. They you know, people, you know, things change. Things happen.
How do you promote that? How do you get those? How do they know? Is it just kids that have gone before, so they automatically know? Are we doing any active promoting for?
I post information on the Collegiate 4-H Facebook page. I post the information on our Idaho Teen Conference page.
I've personally invited people.
Okay.
Just word of mouth mainly. We don't do. I mean, we do some organized stuff, obviously, but I mean, a lot of it is through word of mouth.
Okay. All righty. Well, and Tucker, don't think that we're just a bunch of crazy adults talking over you, but here's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get the adults kind of where they felt comfortable, and then I'm going to offer it out for the teens to pick whatever you want to be. So since you're the only one on here, Tucker, what appeals to you? Facilities, workshops, promotion, thank yous? Well, not so much that. Activities?
Whatever. I don't care. I'll do whatever is needed.
I tell you what I'll probably do. I'll probably put it out in the minutes that here are the opportunities, fill in the blank, and if anyone cares to read the minutes and realizes that they can volunteer for a spot, first come, first serve, I guess.
Well, and also, Donna, again, we don't know exactly how this is all going to fall into place, but I do have a person essentially that has done that marketing piece. an officer in the past. So I have a media manager, and we also have a activities director.
Right.
I think they at least to their titles are planning on, kind of running things as is. I would suggest that activities director position be augmented with 3 or 4 other teams who help run that process, because
if we could get them kind of roughed out who's in what committee and who's doing what.
Can I suggest one other kind of subcommittee, but it's not, I think I just want to make sure that we have point person and somebody in charge, or like helping get them organized. But it would be nice to have an adult from the district, or if, I don't know who you want to decide, if it's our district faculty, or if it's our volunteers, but somebody needs to help those district representatives on getting prepared for their district meetings, and making sure that those agendas get updated, that they're staying on task on what needs to be done at those particular meetings.
Are those district reps still serving on the state officers?
No.
They're basically on this committee.
They're on this committee.
There's 2 other things that we need to look at for subcommittees as well, and that's events. The dance, the barbecue, whatever extra events we do, we need a faculty or a adult staff member kind of leading the charge on those. And
is that what I'm calling activities?
Well, in the past, the district activities, the get to know you games, those kind of things that we do in amongst the agenda you can't do those. The same person can't be in charge of those that's in charge of the dance or the barbecue, because you have 2 things going on at the same time.
Yeah. So the district, good point.
And
but you've got
evaluation. We need to make sure that, and Brian and Grace have been doing the evaluation, but I just don't want it to get forgotten until the last minute. We've had that happen a couple of years. So
evaluations are going to start to look a little different. We're going to be evaluating some of the same things.
Donna and I are doing that.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we don't lose it. It's a valuable skill for some.
Don't worry.
We had a couple of youth members that wanted to learn about it. It's a huge thing. If we had a couple of students or a student that wanted to sit in and work with, that would be fantastic.
Okay, so to back up on, because you brought up several things, on that district meetings, it is in a position description to work with the district people on that. I'm pretty sure I'll double check. The other thing about that, it's in our action item list, and after our experience last year, we will have templates for those district meetings, and that's going to be some of the input from the state officers and from the district reps. So that's another thing that these 2 groups are working together. There's templates for those, because some of those were done very well, I understand, and some of them were done very, very poorly.
So can we add, my suggestion would be that at our spring board meeting or team meeting, we put together all those agendas, and the 4 district faculty and the 4 district representatives sit down as a team and hammer out what those meetings are going to look like at our spring meeting. Build the agendas, build the scripts, all of that.
That's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
One thing I noticed from past years in attending the meetings with the district reps, they really do need some type of adult to help them answer some of the questions.
Mm-hmm.
And those of us who have gone year after year were able to help them, but if there was new adults there, they did struggle at that.
Yeah.
And that's very true.
I got run a little bit ragged because, I had my district asking me to be at the district meeting, but I had to be somewhere else helping the college staff with this, and it just turned into, oh my goodness.
I'm sorry.
So I agree that and it makes the most sense that it's the district faculty that's there, but just beware that in making all these other assignments, you know, Gail's off setting up for the next event, and Brian's off working with Nathan to get this going, and then you don't have any representation at your meetings. And what Mary said is extremely commonplace, and it also sets us up for one of the districts not getting the information and it being, you know, well, they told us in our district meeting that, you know, it was snowing. What? Where did that come from? So we've had the last 2 years, I've noticed, had quite a few problems with lack of knowledgeable adult support at each meeting. That could also be remedied. It doesn't necessarily have to be, you know, the district faculty. It could be state staff that's supporting the program that maybe goes to those meetings and helps.
So let me
Just an idea, just a thought.
Well, I think that if we do the agendas and scripts for those meetings at our spring meeting, that will start to get everybody lined up. It's just those, you're right, Brian, it's just those last minute changes, schedules, things like that. We'll have to figure out an effective communication for those.
Is there any reason why the district representatives can't help the adults?
No. I see, Mary, I think it could be you or me in our district. It could be, you know, Brian or whoever the adult is from their district in their meetings, as long as we've got an effective communication channel to allow those individuals to know who what the announcements are for the day.
So some
I'm
of
game to go.
the stuff that's in the position description is work with district court. This is for the adults. Work with district coordinators to ensure appropriate orientations and trainings are provided for youth and adults in the district before they attend. Support them in their assignments, and it talks about the district meetings and all that other stuff. So, I mean, we've kind of got it outlined just to start to follow along. And it may sound like I'm making this easier than it is, because I know this is a complicated beast. Before we go any further, who joined us on the phone down below?
That was me,
Who's me?
Sydney Olson.
Hi, Sydney Olson. Thank you.
Hi, and I actually have to go right now, but I listened to the last part.
Well, thanks for jumping on. I will send out some notes, and there will be a link in there. So if you have time, you can go back and listen to this discussion. Are you planning on coming to Ambassadors?
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. Do you know who Shasta is?
Yeah.
Sydney, do we have
All
2
right.
seconds? Do we have 2 seconds, Sydney, to get some input
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
just a potential name change? I really want teen input on this, and I really feel like this should be
Okay.
teen driven. But do you have an idea? Have you thought about, and we're going to talk about it, I think, here in a minute, or maybe right now, but
Yeah, right now. Go ahead.
the historical problem with teen conference is that it has kind of the name has kind of a bad reputation in the state. And so you teens, I would just like to know if there's another name. Now, the teen officers have put forth a suggestion, but I don't want to put it out there until you guys have maybe had a chance to chew on it a little bit.
Okay. I haven't thought about it, but I can think about it, and I can send you an email or a message.
Okay.
If you have emails like that, please send them back to the Teen Conference Steering Committee, or that, so we can share it that way too.
All right.
That's one of the things we were going to talk about is a name change. We're not deciding tonight. Hopefully, we will decide in November, because that'll be the last.
Yeah.
As far as getting a name change. I don't know. I've heard a couple of different ones. What, Brian, you said you didn't want to share what the officers came
Well,
up
I can. State, what did we say? State 4-H Leadership Convention?
Okay.
No, I think just Idaho 4-H Leadership Convention.
Okay.
The other one I heard was
know.
Idaho 4-H Leadership Summit.
Oh.
Okay. I think the second one has a little bit more of a ring to it,
What's the word?
but
Look it
I'm
up.
not certain. I do have to go right now, but
Thank you.
I will listen to the rest of the recording and get back to you guys.
We'll talk at Ambassadors. Thank you.
Yep, of course. Bye.
Oh my gosh.
I looked up Summit. It's either a tall mountain or it's kind of a political meeting, but Larry, what's his name? His big meeting every year is a summit. So that was one thing that was suggested. The other thing was if we're going to kind of pass this into the direction of secondary and workforce prep kind of stuff, is there something that'll go along that way?
Well, and that's what I was wondering. I don't know if this event is supposed to be a leadership event, then we need to change everything in there, because right now it's or a lot of things, because right now it's focused on your next step after you get out of high school. So I'm not comfortable with having leadership in there unless we have a leadership track, or maybe I'm thinking off base here.
We have had a leadership track at Teen Conference since the beginning of time.
But not everybody gets to do that.
Right.
See what I'm saying? I mean, if it's going to be a leadership conference, then everybody should be able to do it.
Well, leadership is almost always the theme of our keynote.
Yeah, and if we look back at
It's everywhere, Suzanne. It always has been.
the three-legged stool, yeah, I know Nikki's taking over, baby. If you will, is that if citizenship is what we're looking at it, how to know your government, civic ed, I guess. Leadership through the state ambassador and the regional ambassador programs now. And then is Teen Conference going to move into where it is more workforce prep, and what am I trying to think of? What's the secondary?
Post-secondary.
Yeah.
Post-secondary education, or post-secondary education, or workforce prep.
Yeah, but there's a slicker way to put those together. Because if the theme is it's kind of where we go from here, going what's, that kind of thing, I think that's a good idea. I definitely do not have a word for that.
The career exploration, or
but the problem with it, we can't call it a career conference or career summit either, because it is so much more than that.
yeah.
It's almost, I don't know, I think of words like visioning and things like that, but nobody wants to go to a conference that does visioning, so.
Well, the word future, and we're in a paradigm, but the word leader rings, and it's something that attracts teens, and it's interesting for them. Yes, it means a lot more, but I guess the point right now is that Teen Conference means something that none of us are proud of right now.
I wonder if we, when you send out the minutes for this, Donna, instead of the seven of us trying to come up with something, when you send out the minutes, you red bold at the top. Everybody needs to bring 1 to 3 words, descriptions, and then we can throw them up on a whiteboard and put them in a jumble and play word scramble with them.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. The other thing,
I'm sorry, but Tucker, you guys come up with so much more good stuff than we do. Oh my gosh, we could roll around 5 empty coffee beans for an hour and not come up with anything. You can do it for a minute and a half and have something fantastic. So,
Although the word envision is pretty catchy.
the what?
The word envision, that's pretty catchy. I like that.
Envision career leadership program.
What were you gonna say, Tucker?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you said.
No.
What do you think of that?
I think it's catchy, yeah.
I honestly, it's a Google search. I stole it from somewhere. Let me see where it came from.
I know, I was Googling, and that's when I came up with Summit today, and I don't know if kids would like that or not. For me, it means it's just something a little more special than a conference, but I don't know.
Yeah, and I think that the officers were thinking more along the lines of they want it to ring of
Professional.
Yeah, professional. And I think they're trying to model themselves a little more after FFA, which, we can bash on them all we want, but they've got it figured out. They get 900 kids to their state convention. So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's
you
no,
know,
yeah.
three of our kids are FFAers, and so we definitely get that. We definitely get that that flavor. So that's where state Idaho 4-H Leadership Convention comes from.
Yeah, FFA is way different.
Yeah.
I think Gail's exactly right, that we're gonna have to spend some time doing that. I mean, but that's about the last, that's wait until the very end to get a new name, but I don't know how else to do it without doing that, so.
Well, it might be kind of fun, you know. You could really, just call it teen conference for this year, and then roll it out slowly, or maybe roll it out at the conference itself. And here's the new name, and make a big deal out of it. Or we could do some really cool stuff with really make an impact on people, on the kids, on the teens, and really, we renamed it, or maybe even have them vote on a change.
Yeah, we could put 2 or 3 options out there, and they can in the lobby of the towers, and they can put their little slips of paper in whichever, in a box, or have a slip of paper that they write the title they want. Some are going to stuff the ballot box, and some aren't going to vote at all, but they might feel like they had inclusion in it as a state instead of just the 16 people on this committee.
Yeah, I'd really like to have something in place for this transition in 17, but I think you're exactly right. It might be better off to wait and have more buy-in and do it more better than just to jump into something too.
Well, and if we do a survey like we did in the past, like last year you did a survey that was a clicker survey, it could be a question on the clicker survey.
Well, yeah, you can vote on it just like, we can put it on the ballot.
You can put it on the ballot
They already have the ballot
for an
done.
election on the election day. Mhm.
Yeah.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. That'd be a piece of cake.
Well, enough. I think if we got it down to 3, if we had 3 youth that were willing to present that title and why they thought it represents the professionalism of this group, to kind of sell it a little bit, I think that might be a good opportunity too for people on this committee, maybe. Okay. All right. Time is it? Oh, time to move. I'm not going to say anything about the potential U of I funding. There's some stuff in the works that would kind of maybe sort of affect teen conference if it comes around. It'd just be an add-on if it did.
But in a good way. A good way.
In a very good way.
Yeah.
New business, I was just going to say, think about promotion plans. That's something else we can talk about with subcommittees. But to me, the biggest challenge right now is we really have got to get this committee all together, face-to-face, do some team building, get to know each other a little bit. This is just very, very hard to plan with the amount of stuff that we have to do in this kind of a setup. But it's all we got for now, so we'll do that. Other thing.
Who's over District 2?
Here, I am.
Brian.
Brian, can I suggest a name to try to get on this committee?
Who?
She went to National Dairy Conference, Georgia Barrett.
Thank you, Tucker.
Georgia was.
Suzanne.
I was wondering if you were going to mention that.
Yeah.
What county is she from, Brian? Is she yours?
Yeah, she's in Canyon.
He's a Canyon County kid. How old is Georgia?
We were trying to convince her, so.
We were trying to convince her.
Well, see, again, I have tried to convince, I think now I'm on my 3rd, and I just can't get him to apply. So if Georgia will put in an application, it is an open process. Tell her to apply, and we're in.
Or give me her contact information.
And Tucker, you are going to have a lot more effectiveness there than any of us put together.
Yeah.
So if you call her or you text her or Facebook or whatever, get that application to Donna tomorrow, and she's in.
Yeah, tell her either give her my Donna at Idaho or send me her contact. Okay. I will give her a call and work 1-to-1 with her. That's how we got a couple other kids on our ambassador committee.
And Georgia has great parental support. Her parents are great, and she'll be, easy to work with, no problems. Should be great. You're right.
To really jump into a great committee, get to go to ambassadors at reduced cost, teen conference at reduced cost, really have an opportunity to make a difference. So yeah, awesome.
So Tucker, will you contact her?
Sorry, what?
Will you contact her?
Yeah, I just texted her.
Okay, I might text her too.
Okay.
Okay. Oh boy, so much to do. It's frightening.
It'll be fine. We'll get through it.
Okay, yeah, I think we will. It's just that I've got this going on with ambassadors and team conference both at the same time.
It always works out.
No, it'll be fine. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
We're gonna be fine. It's gonna happen. Let me get some notes together, but I'm not gonna worry too much about that because we do have the recording. It's a whole hour of fun times for somebody to listen to. I sound like Donald Duck, drives me crazy. And then I will go to work on laying out this face-to-face agendas for all these committees and probably send that out too with some opportunity for help. Okay, we'll get the teams to show maybe interest on workshops, bring ideas for the discussion about a name change.
And Donna, the officers are going to have, we'll have already knocked off 2 of our presentations, and we were thinking about just kind of altering it a little bit. We've already started working on KYG, so that piece might even be done. So use them as you need them.
Okay, the ambassador has requested something on opportunities. What
No.
you can do.
Oh, that's new.
What were you going to do?
I didn't know that.
Isn't that kind of what you're doing at the forum?
Kinda.
Okay.
But that's actually more in line with what KYG requested.
Yeah, well, just kind of make it fit, because here's the deal. Those kids are going to be there all weekend, and if there's other opportunities to sit and visit with them about how can I grow up and be like you, I mean, that can happen anywhere, so.
Well, then the other thing is I was just suggesting that we might not have a whole lot to work on. So we certainly can sit in on team conference. We can sit in on some other things, wherever you need help or not. So whatever, yeah.
I think most of the officers' time is going to be dovetailing in with this committee.
Okay, that'd be great.
It's through this.
And that will help me too. So I don't have to be in 2 places at once.
Yeah, I hear you. Try 3. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I won't keep anybody longer unless somebody has something. I'm going to try to get over these things in an hour. Changes. Would it be possible to bring it past?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, Mary.
Now that's exactly what I'm going to do. Is pull those schedules up, Mary, to set the agendas off of that and bring copies for us. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because and Shannon, you're coming to ambassadors, aren't you? Okay. All right.
Again, I'm trying to just one thing at a time, but just to confirm, we are talking the 26th through the 29th of June. Is that right?
For team conference?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the focus said the 26th through the 30th. Not the focus, the statewide your annual calendar that Jim sent out.
Oh, because if the focus was wrong, I had it wrong. I thought I had it right. Okay.
My office through it was like, well, I said, no, it doesn't include the 30th.
We did not add a day. Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things when you look at something so long and about 50 times, and I sent it to about all of us before I sent it out, and it just must have gotten.
And the thing that really sucks about that is now it's there, and somebody's going to call and say, well, this thing said till the 30th.
How'd that go, Brian?
Yeah. I get that call all the time. When I make a mistake, you can't retract it anymore like you used to be able to.
I just make mistakes to see if people are paying attention. That's my line, and I'm sticking to it.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Night, all.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you all. Have a good evening.
Appreciate
Hey,
you.
Shanna, can you check your email real quick before you leave?
Yes.
Thank you and good night.
Night.
Actually, I was going to say one more thing.
Yes, Tucker.
If you need to promote any event, I've been to almost all the events in the state and national conference, like Dairy Conference, and I think I'm going to go to national conference as well. so I can do whatever.
You mean helping out as the opportunities, you mean, Tucker?
Yeah, like I'm gonna try to talk Jenna into it, and we're gonna try to go around on the counties and promote it in our state, not our state, our district.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And if you guys, if you guys could share that with Katie and Jackie, and then we can share it with Aaron and Georgia if we can get her, and Sydney and Shasta when we have this discussion face to face in fall, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Okay.